Hello, this video is for IXL Activity A1.K.2. It is titled Write Inequalities from Graphs, and the 3-character code for this activity is Sierra Echo Kilo. All right, in K1, the previous activity, we were given inequalities and we had to graph them. Now it's the other way around. We have a graph and we're going to write the inequality. So the question says, what inequality does this number line show? And it says to write your answer starting with an x. So we're always going to use the variable x. And then they give us an example, such as x is less than 3, where we have our variable x. We're going to have an inequality symbol, and then we're going to have a number value. Now, for the inequality symbol, you don't have to type these in from your keyboard. For this particular activity, underneath the selection box here, you're going to have some buttons right here. And I think that there's going to be 5 of them, if I recall. And you'll have 5 buttons there. I believe that they are less than, greater than, less than, equal to, greater than, equal to, and then not equal to. I think those are all of the buttons that are there, if I recall correctly. So we're going to go ahead and type in an x to start off. We're going to have an inequality symbol, and then we're going to have a number value. So before we move along, let's go ahead and review what an open dot means and what a closed dot means. So if we have an open dot, we're talking about a situation where the point is not included. So we don't include the point whenever we have either less than or greater than. If it's a less than or a greater than symbol, then the point is not included, and we're going to have an open dot. Now for a closed dot indicates that the point is indeed included. So we're going to use a closed dot for situations like less than or equal to and greater than or equal to. So you'll notice that open dot, we don't have half the equal sign. Closed dot, we do have half the equal sign. Open dot means the point is not included. Closed dot means that the point is indeed included. It can and it is part of the solution. So with that said, let's go ahead and move along. Now, another thing that we talked about in K1 was that if you always keep your variable on the left, such as x, and then you have your inequality symbol, maybe in this case, let's go ahead and start working on the answer. This one's going to be less than, and then -5. That if you always keep your variable on the left and your numerical value on the right, and then in between those is your inequality symbol, that the symbol, the arrow that the symbol seems to like portray or represent, like less than looks like an arrow pointing to the left, greater than looks like an arrow pointing to the right, then we know that the graph matches that symbol as long as our variable's on the right. In this particular activity, we're supposed to put our variable on the right all the time. So this is going to be as simple as use the symbol, use the inequality symbol that matches the direction of the arrow that we see on the graph itself. So some pretty easy stuff if you ask me. So it's pointing to the left. So let's use the one that points to the left. And it's not very mathematically sound. Let's call it for what it is. We know that x is less than, it's a closed dot, so it could also be equal to, so we would click the less than or equal to button to put that symbol in there. And then let's type in our value on our keyboard, -5. So x is less than or equal to -5. And as we can see here, -5 is plotted. It is a closed dot, so -5 is included, so it could be equal to -5. And all the numbers less than 5, indeed, on a number line. All the numbers that are less than -5 are to the left of -5, so we would plot that. Notice that we do plot the arrow. We don't stop at any other number because we want to represent that every number less than -5 is a possible solution for the inequality. Next one, let's go ahead and type in our x. Every one of them start off with an x. What symbol should we use? Well, it's pointing to the right. Let's make our symbol point to the right. And it's an open dot, so we're not going to use the equal to concept, so we're just going to use greater than only. And then where's the point plotted at? -3. -3, so x is greater than -3. On the next one, type your x. Next question is, which one of those symbols down here at the bottom should we use? Remember, there's going to be 5 buttons here, and that's where we're going to get your inequality symbols. Which one should you use? Well, it's a closed dot, right? So that means it can be equal to it, and the arrow is pointing to the left, so it must be is greater than or equal to, and where's the point plotted at? Negative 83. X is greater than or equal to negative 83. On the next one, type your X. Let's select our symbol from underneath. We'll click on it. Well, this is pointing to the left, so it's all the numbers that are less than, so we'll click that. Should it be open dot or closed? Well, it's an open dot, so we're not going to use the equality concept. And now the point that's plotted is negative 510. X is less than negative 510. What inequality does this number line show? Well, let's type in our X, select our inequality symbol. It's pointing to the left, so it's all the numbers that are less than. It is a closed dot, so it doesn't include negative 46, so it can be equal to negative 46. And like I just said, it's plotted at negative 46. So the inequality is X is less than or equal to negative 46. Here we have, we're going to type our X, select our symbol. It's pointing to the left, so we're talking about all the numbers that are greater than. It is a closed dot, so we want the equality concept in there as well. And 5 is the point that's plotted, so X is greater than or equal to 5. And indeed, we see that's what the graph is representing. Let's go ahead and type in our X, select our sign from underneath. It's pointing to the right, so we're talking about all the numbers that are greater than. It's not a very good greater than symbol, is it? I was leaving room for the equal part, but actually we don't need the equal part because it is an open dot. And we're plotted at negative 70. So the inequality for this graph is X is greater than negative 70. Final one is, let's type in our X, select our symbol. It's pointing to the left, so we're talking about all values that are less than. It is an open dot, so we're not going to use the equality concept. And we're just going to make it less than. We're not going to do less than or equal to, just less than. So, and where are we plotted at? 820. 820. So the inequality for this graph is X is less than 820. And that concludes all of my examples for IXL A1.K.2 Write inequalities from graphs. Good luck with your activity.